Hi, I want to address an issue. When I visited the Underground Railroad Memorial, something that I've been disturbed about hit home even more that day. We knew the basic area where the Underground Railroad was. It was downtown, knew the intersection, but the intersection wasn't exactly the intersection. We must have asked 9 or 10 young people, middle-aged people, and they had no idea of the place. This was unveiled in 2014, just 5 years ago, and it was a big program, big celebration. I had watched it by video. There was a lot of people there at this particular opening of this special monument that they fought for years to be able to have in honor of the two men who helped runaway slaves to be hidden at a station of the Underground Railroad before going on to freedom. Finally, as I was getting sadly frustrated, but not to the point of giving up, just sad that the people right there in the city did not know about this monument or even the significance of it. So finally, I saw an elderly black man, and I asked him and showed him the picture, and he knew exactly where it was and told me it was just around the corner near the police department. But people didn't know where this was, or that it was an Underground Railroad monument. They didn't know what it was. Not only that, but there was not an address for this monument. There was 2 rows of an intersection, which ended up not being that intersection actually. So it caused confusion as to where it was, but there wasn't an address for this place. Now, the issue is that our people perish for lack of knowledge. We watched and observed those that were walking around in downtown, and certainly it's a place where the people need to be encouraged. It's a place where people need to embrace knowledge. And yet they have this monument of historical significance, but they knew nothing about it. I've heard people say that if people know, they'll do better. But the problem is the knowledge is not disseminated enough. Our people don't have the knowledge that we need to have about our people. A lot of our people aren't interested in knowing our history because they have been taught about slavery. The schools push, this is slavery, and so they think that we were just slaves, and they don't want to listen or don't want to talk about, don't want to even acknowledge history. They don't like that part because they don't think it's a history of strength. I remember when I was teaching a group of 6th graders in North Carolina many years ago, I developed a unit based on who we were before slavery, who our ancestors were before slavery, and I taught them, and they researched and they read about all the kings and queens and the warriors. They were amazed as they read about the ancestors before slavery. These were 6th graders, and they asked me, why didn't we know about this before? Why don't they teach this in school? Why don't we know about this? Not even their parents knew. But that unit, I saw those students blossoming more than they had previously. They were researching, reading one article after another. They were happy, they were proud, they were glad to present the knowledge. They discussed it. They told their peers what they were learning about, what they found out about. It was an exciting time. And from then on, they were also ready to learn. My belief is that our people are not taught enough. And so they don't recognize the strength of our ancestors that were enslaved. They don't recognize the courage, the wisdom, their intelligence, their endurance. They don't recognize their determination and just that inner strength and how that inner strength comes out into the open, into their actions. They don't recognize that inner strength and determination and courage is sometimes in just being quiet and waiting. They don't recognize what hope and faith in God does. Our people don't recognize it enough, and so they don't appreciate history because they don't know that they had history before slaves. They don't know that they had history of royalty before slavery, and so they don't recognize or even appreciate the fight that our ancestors had, the courage that they had, the work they did to help us today. Our people perish because of lack of knowledge. That's the truth. That's Bible. And so to this end, not to promote my books, but to offer a solution to a serious problem. I didn't start this video to talk about books that I've written. I started it just to encourage you, my people, to learn about history, to understand history so that you can be proud of who you are. And we can move forward without poverty, crime, drug addictions, or any other kind of addictions. We can move on and free ourselves from the prisons that we put ourselves in, even for the prisons that we allow other people to put us in. But 2 books, one in which I give suggestions and ideas and ways to improve the education of our children. And that book is For Our Children, Our Future. The other one is the first book of a children's series that you should start getting to read to your children or to any children that are under your care. And that book is Want to Know a Secret? For Wisdom and Peniel. Let our children know the pride that we have. So let our children know the strength, the character, who we come from and who we are. I suggest and I encourage you to get those books. But even if you don't get those books, learn, read, research, know the character of our people. Know the plan that God has for you. Know who God made you. We are fearfully and wonderfully created. Know who you are and live it. God bless you.